Hey guys, Ajax22 here, and just wanted to do an update video on the little monster. Yeah, so we've done a bunch of work since the last video. I think the last time you guys saw it, she was still just with the plastic berets welded in, and with the Glock mag mod. Taking it a little farther, gone a little more twisted with it. Haven't got everything, got some design elements that still need to be attached. This is Daddy's little piece with some hair that's going to go off of, I haven't decided on either the rear of the receiver or the front. We made a protective dust cover for the front. Still got to trim the barrel back a little bit, but this will actually retain the binky and then use the little tip to, prevent dust from getting into it. And continuing with the post-apocalyptic, not somebody you'd want to run into motif, and with the intention of this being the first registered assault weapon that Department of Justice will get to see nice photos of. Gonna try to just keep pushing until, universally it's just, a little too much. So, yeah, and just gonna keep showing you some of these design elements. I had to swipe the mag catch out of the gun. It was needed for another project, but got others on order. This was literally the only one we had. You can see the doll heads that have been added. We made a bunch of, used some Barbie arms and some baby doll arms. Sculpted a face for the front. I have a glass eye, a human glass eye coming. So this is gonna get heat molded out and then wrapped back around. But you can sort of make out the face for the front of the gun. I'm trying to get a hold of some human teeth, canines and incisors. And we're gonna heat them up and actually build them into the gum line here. So this will have a couple of teeth hanging down. As you can see, we added a panel to the Tec9 portion of the grip, basically just to make it so we could access it. I'll pop that off here in a minute. This thing has 120-second playback, little integrated circuit, so you can jack a line card into it, and then it's got a little speaker. The idea being that you can play music when you pick up the gun, just to make it a little weirder, which is, in keeping what we're going with here. Yeah, it still needs some fitting. I'm not really satisfied with how it sits. Plastic is a little difficult to work with when you start mixing other stuff in. Plastic by itself, you just add more plastic. Plastic with metal and, electronics and stuff. We were gonna have this plugged up on the bottom side with some Barbie legs. Contemplating making, so you have to you like have the line in jack in between them, just to make it, really messed up. But yeah, don't know. We'd have to extend out the grip, I think, a little bit. The integrated circuit is a little larger than we'd really thought it was going to be. So anyway, it's pretty dark, pretty twisted. It's kind of getting there. I think once we have, I'm thinking off the back or off the. If we didn't have the legs, I'd probably just put it off the a lanyard loop down here. I don't want to do anything around the mag well here because this is gonna, that'll interfere with loading. So that leaves probably somewhere, use an M-lock. You can modify M-locks to work on the Kimmel AP9. I guess shroud. They're close. They're not exact. We actually, the way we have the little optic mounted on there, it's a piece of M-lock rail that's just bolted on. So I ground the M-locks a little thinner so they'll fit in. and then it just drops right on, and you know, you've got your little green dot, standard dealy. 8 balls off a keychain. It's actually threaded, turned and threaded the handle. We're originally going to epoxy it, but that didn't seem like as good an option. When we saw how well the ball was able to be threaded, it just worked out. These are the speaker holes. I'll probably bedazzle that somehow. Yeah. As you can see on the doll heads, we burned the eyes out, and then added red nail polish to sort of just keep it twisted. Have internals on order, so probably add a few more hands. The white doesn't really work particularly well color palette wise. But it's getting there. Gonna have to make some kind of a holster for it before we can have it be run on IPSC. But well, I guess it might be 3-gun. I don't know, whatever open glass allows for it. And have to do some fitting and, you know, some undercutting, and you know, this is very crude. We haven't gone back through and really made it comfortable yet. You can kind of see the integrated circuits. Let me pause recording here for a second, and I'll pop the cover off so you can actually see the and I guess hear the music. One sec. Here you can see with the cover popped open, it's still pretty crudely fit, and the circuit board is just retained in some grooves here. It needs some love. Probably also is going to need a proper battery and charge controller. Maybe make it run off a USB. That should help solve the battery issue, because this is kind of a pain. This is not a circuit board that's really intended to have the batteries replaced, and yet, you know, I want it to work well into the apocalypse, being the idea. So it needs a momentary switch added. I have one here, but this was just something we found in the back of the shop. I don't actually trust it. On this card, basically you hold it down, and the longer you hold it down for the duration you want it to play. So the idea is I'm going to put that here under this, right about there, and then wire it into where the switch location would be on the board. These are really basic. These are kind of cool because this one actually has a line in. This thing was like 10 or 14 bucks. Comes with a line in, had a microphone so you could record, and would record 2 minutes worth of whatever. Really pretty awesome. You just hit this little red button. I'm probably going to relocate the red button somewhere where it can be hit. So if I ever want to change the song, right now this has a shifted version of tongue twister, Sunshine Lollipops in it. I'll grab a clip lead. I don't have the switch wired up, so it's not gonna do stuff and things, but I can make it play with the clip lead. Yeah, so I should just do that. You can see the gun do its thing. But something to keep in mind, the clip leads that I have to play with is kind of junk, so if it gets wiggled, it might start the recording over, but you'll get the idea. And clip lead goes on. And in theory, It actually plays the full song, but as you can see, if the switch doesn't loses contact, then it restarts, which is kind of cool. So definitely going to get some attention at the range when we take it out and shoot it. I'm going to take the binky off the cover when we shoot. It just pops off. It's on a, yeah, quick and easy little dust cover. Just stretches on, stretches off. And yeah, so this is going to be kind of fucked up. Pardon the language. Anyway, that's where this is at. I'll probably do another update video once I've got the switch wired up, the glass eyes in, and the teeth into the face. And then I guess I'll have to have a I gotta have the engraved plate in place before registration, and that's about it. So yeah, to quote another channel, keep your dick in a vice.